What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MontyVerse. We're here to check out the brand new trailer for Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I love the Guardians franchise. Nikki, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, guys, let's go. It's Super Bowl Sunday. We're checking out the big game spot for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy right now.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm Star-Lord.
Yeah.
I formed the Guardians.
I love it.
Met a girl, fell in love. That girl died.
Oh.
But then she came back.
Oh.
Came back a total dick.
Please. He left out some important information, but that is the gist of it.
Our first look at Gamora.
My sacred mission
High Evolutionary.
is to create the perfect society.
Oh, baby.
He didn't want to make things perfect.
Oh.
He just hated things the way they are.
Nebula got an upgrade. Among Us.
I want you all to know that I'm grateful to fight beside my friends.
Incinerate them.
Whoa, Adam.
Oh wait, that was him. He was the gold guy.
Yeah. Yes.
That looks so cool.
So
We're
cool.
always searching for a favor
Lila.
until we found each other.
This, oh my God.
Are you ready
Drax.
for one last ride?
Whoa.
We'll all fly away together.
Into the forever and beautiful sky.
Rocket has a boba tea, but I'm so emotionally distraught.
Whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Her? Bring me into this.
Just never noticed how black your eyes were.
They were replaced by my father as a method of torture.
He picked a pretty set.
Oh god.
Oh man, this trailer more than the first one felt like a Guardians trailer. The first trailer was great. I love the first trailer, but this really definitely had the Guardians tone to it. You know?
Yeah. I feel like it was a little less jokey because I think they focused a lot on some of the action shots, and especially on the High Evolutionary. Like the first one, I think gave us a better idea of the actual story, but this one, I think you're right in that it strikes the tone a lot, especially between Peter, Gamora, and Nebula.
Yes. This is our first look at Nebula in the movie because we didn't even see. Gamora. Sorry, we didn't even see Gamora in the first trailer.
Right, other than like faraway shots, especially the one of them, like I think walking towards us. But otherwise, yeah, because from what we see in this, it's like she's kind of with them, but like
they meet up.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I love I don't want to say the OG because this is obviously not the OG team, but I love the classic Guardians of the Galaxy uniforms that they're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
I am such a big fan of this iteration of the Guardians in the comics. So when the first movie came out and they were in a different version of those suits, I was a little bummed out. But seeing these suits in live action, and if this is the last ride, like they say, one last ride, it's just such a perfect way to end it, just to see them all together in these suits because they look gorgeous. And seeing them all work together in these action set pieces, which we get a lot more of in this trailer, I think is super cool. Like Peter and Groot, and we see Drax taking on Adam Warlock, which I think is going to be an awesome scene because Drax needs to. I feel like we haven't seen enough Drax the Destroyer. We've seen Drax, but I want Drax the Destroyer. I want to see him actually show people how strong he really is. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be cool. The High Evolutionary. This movie has the potential, if the High Evolutionary is done right, which by all intents and purposes it looks like they're doing him justice, he's going to be one of the most hated villains in not only Marvel but all of cinema. The High Evolutionary is a piece of shit in the comics.
I mean, just seeing what he was doing to Rocket in the flashback and the way that Rocket basically rejected his philosophy entirely and just basically, like, he sounds like a cold-blooded torturer.
The way that Rocket describes him is perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to change people because he hates the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
He always wants to create and make new. And he will fuck with your genetics. He will fuck with your appearance just because.
And I'm assuming against people's wills.
Absolutely. And again, just because he feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's terrible. It's terrifying to deal with someone who just hates. And it's not even a hatred. It's this cold, uncaring callousness.
Right.
And that's going to be really creepy and unsettling.
And I was going to say, because I remember when he came out during the panel and he was very hammy and over the top, and that was wonderful. He comes off a lot colder here, which makes him more terrifying.
Yeah, I think in the right context, that over-the-top hamminess could come across extremely sociopathic and callous.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm very excited for that aspect of the film, and of course on the other side of it is the Adam Warlock of it all, because Adam Warlock in the comics does have a relationship with the High Evolutionary. He's actually the one that gives him the name Adam Warlock in the comics. Before that, he was just called him. Adam Warlock is extremely, insanely powerful in the comics. I don't know how he's going to be perceived here, but it looks like he's pretty strong. He can fly. He's taking on Drax toe-to-toe, so he's going to be a tough challenge for the Guardians. I think that he's going to be a physical threat for the Guardians, whereas the High Evolutionary is going to be more of like a chess piece mover. Like, he's going to be like
intellectually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to, like, he's going to be like the brain villain. It's slipping. I'm trying to process so much. It's slipping from my mind what I'm trying to say. But he's going to be like the guy in the tower, like that they got to take on.
I was gonna say like Lex almost.
Yeah, like a Lex Luthor type. Yeah, this is Rocket. We see Rocket getting modified in this trailer. Nebula gets an upgrade, which is pretty cool. Her hand can kind of change shapes, which is awesome. We see Kraglin. We see this like squid looking thing. Oh boy. We see Counter Earth, which is where the High Evolutionary resides in the comics, and that is where Rocket is from, where Rocket was created, and we know that they go to Counter Earth in this movie. This is Lila, the sea otter that was Rocket's girlfriend in the comics, and we see them have a nice warm embrace here. So we're assuming that they might be boyfriend and girlfriend,
which would be
or exes.
Which is super cute. Either way, just the embrace between them.
Yeah, it's good to see Rocket find someone, not him, because again, like one of Rocket's big character problems is that he's the only one of himself out in the universe,
right? And
that's hard, very hard for him. That's a burden for him. So to find someone in Lila again, reconnect with Lila, who has a similar experience to him, I think is going to be really great to see for the character. Yeah, we see little Gamora maybe refalling in love with Peter.
What's that thing she's holding?
I don't know, like a little furry little...
It looks like a Furby almost.
Yeah. I feel like this Drax and Adam Warlock fight is going to be epic. It looks pretty sick. Oh, Nebula saluting someone. What does that mean? What does all of this mean? Nebula and Rock and Groot.
So, like, are they also in prison at some point? Or what are those jumpsuits?
Yeah, it looks like they're in prison at one point. It's probably gonna be like an homage to the first one when they're in the kiln, which is pretty fun. High Evolutionary looking terrifying. Who is this that Peter kind of jumps out of a window with? That was an interesting shot to me. This is Nowhere, which we've seen in the Christmas special already. Great Christmas special. Oh no, Mantis is crying. The people in the shot are Gamora,
Nebula,
Drax, and Mantis. No Rocket, no Peter.
No, and no Groot.
And no Groot, but I feel like Groot's pretty safe.
Yeah.
We got this shot of them carrying Peter with Rocket drinking his little boba tea. That is 100% boba.
Are you sure?
That's boba. Look at that.
It's not just the design on the cup.
Maybe, or it could be the design on the cup.
I mean, whatever it is, it's funny.
Whatever it is, it's funny. And of course, my favorite Guardian, Cosmo, the good girl, space dog, the Russian cosmonaut, space dog. Cosmo, and I'm not even exaggerating, Cosmo was probably one of my favorite aspects of the Guardians comic. So the fact that Cosmo was... We get a brief tease of Cosmo in the first movie, but the fact that she was back in the holiday special, and now she's back again in this movie, I'm so excited. Give me all the dog, Cosmo, good girl, doggy kisses. Have Cosmo team up with Lucky the pizza dog, and give them their Disney Plus show. Kevin Feige, do it, but I want that, definitely.
I mean, look, if DC could have the League of Super Pets, why can't Marvel have something equivalent to that, but even better?
Yeah. Man, this movie is going to be so heavy. It definitely has a darker, more serious tone than the previous Guardians films, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
But there's still some humor from this trailer.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many different story arcs they could tackle in the that are comic based. There's no particular story that this is adapting, just because there's so many different pieces at play that don't all interconnect. Adam Warlock was a member of this team of Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics, but there's no particular story that involves the creation of Adam Warlock and first meeting the High Evolutionary with this team of Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm very curious to see what different stories they adapt and how they connect, because the themes all connect very well. It's all about the High Evolutionary has a connection to the Guardians. He has a connection to Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock was created. He was created by who was Elizabeth Debicki's character in Guardians 2?
Oh god, I don't remember.
Lyria?
I literally was just thinking are they the same species?
He was created by Elizabeth Debicki in Guardians 2. She had his cocoon in the post-credit scenes of that movie. The High Evolutionary maybe makes adjustments to Adam Warlock, but either way, he was created. Rocket was created. The High Evolutionary is a creator of things, so there's going to be a lot of play with creation. The fact that the Guardians are a ragtag group, a found family. I mean, Nebula was essentially done. The same thing that happened to Rocket was done to Nebula essentially force by Thanos.
Which is just horrifying because because I know obviously she starts out very antagonistic, but when you find out what happened to her, it's like, goddamn.
Yeah, and we even get that she kind of restates that, even though it's played as a joke. She restates that later on in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I think that's important to understand, and I think the theme is really going to be we are a family.
Yeah.
No matter what, we're freaks. But we're family, and that's the most important thing. And that is the Guardians movies. Every movie, it's about. The first one was about mothers. Was about really about mothers. Second one was about fathers, relationships with our father. This one's going to be maybe siblings, or the concept of family,
or maybe even partners
or love or something of that nature. But I feel like the themes are starting to take shape for me, and I really like that.
Right, and because it's James Gunn, that he probably had a lot of these ideas cooking beforehand.
Absolutely. I feel like he even though he's the head of DCU now, don't think that this is going to be a half-assed movie. I think Gunn's heart is in this movie 1,000%, because you can already feel like this is going to be a very emotional movie, but without even knowing the plot, I could already feel that, see the themes starting to take shape already. So this is going to be, I have no doubt that this is going to be a great movie.
I know, and honestly, what's so interesting is, especially in comparison to the Ant-Man trailers, which by all means also love them, I think we can piece together that plot pretty easily at this point. This, I kind of like the ambiguity and knowing, we know what the tone is, we know the antagonist, we know the people at play, but I also wouldn't need anything beyond this to be sold.
Yeah, I think the first two, I think both the trailers, the first one and this one, were both great. And I think they tell us enough about the movie to get me really excited.
Right. I'm
so excited. Every aspect of that movie has me excited. Adam Warlock, the High Evolutionary, Counter-Earth, Rocket's backstory, Rocket-driven Guardians movie, Peter, the final tale of this version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, potentially James Gunn's last MCU movie. There's so many pieces at play on this chessboard, and I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm excited, guys. In terms of comic book stuff, there wasn't much that I didn't already talk about in the first trailer breakdown, so I don't want to just reiterate a lot of the same stuff. So I think that's gonna do it. But if you like the video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell because we have tons of content coming out all the time. Nikki, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at EgglordNikki.
And you can find me on all of the socials at the MontyVerse. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever socials are found. And until next time, guys, stay versed.